Trash's very bad day had Deanna taking no prisoners and ending with the double date from hell. I think Vanessa's days could get worse, and I hope that they do get worse. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? Happy Easter, even though I'm recording this on a Friday. So the comments later, if you're commented on the Friday video, I'm not going to be able to respond to those comments, but I'll still respond to comments on the first 4 videos of the past week. Let's get into the preview, though, first for this next week of episodes. It starts with Tomas turning in his resignation to Bill, and Bill asking if this is about Hayley, and Tomas says yes. So this is following up on all of the turmoil that Hayley has started putting Tomas through, thanks to Lynette. And now Tomas is doing maybe the right thing and trying to resign and get a better job. I mean, if the offer that he's getting is a better job, why wouldn't he take that? I'm having a hard time buying that Tomas is actually going to resign here, but maybe he actually is. Of course, as we all know, and a lot of you in the comments probably agree, would love for Tomas's job to be way far away from the DMV area and Tomas to be off the show. I think that what would be better is if he and Kat continue to try and push the scammers and Tomas ends up dead. But I'm not going to hold my breath that that's going to happen. Next in the preview, it's Naomi and Jacob's anniversary, and she is worried he won't come home from this undercover job that he's on. Now, obviously, they're not going to be together for their anniversary, as we saw in the Friday episode. But I don't think anything's going to happen to Jacob with this story, although I am wondering what this Impaler storyline is even for, since it is falling so flat. I kind of do feel, like I said the other day, that it seems to maybe be a storyline to try and make Ashley more interesting because she's dating Grayson, who's involved with something shady, even though he's doing it for good reasons because of his mother. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try and figure it out, because all I know is that the storyline is falling flat. And then next in the preview is the storyline falling flat. We see Jacob and Smitty in our favorite alley talking about casting a wide net and how they're going to catch the Impaler. There's nothing here with these two in the preview. It's more of the same. Jacob and Smitty in piss poor undercover clothing in that alley, like it's not sketchy that Smitty's in that alley all the time. So judging by this preview, I think this Impaler storyline will continue to be slowly drawn out over this next week worth of episodes. Next in the preview is Anita upset with Danny and Vernon about something, saying that they think she's a fool. No idea what this is about. I'm sure they're planning something for Anita or trying to surprise Anita with something. Hopefully it's just not the cancer storyline taking a dark turn again. I think we maybe hopefully got over that hump for now. But I have no idea what to make of this preview with Anita and Danny and Vernon here. Next in the preview is Marcel telling Leslie that his boat Sheila is the only woman that doesn't drive him nuts. Leslie says present company excluded, and he says that Leslie drives him crazy. So I guess this is the show going back to this Marcel and Leslie relationship and this dynamic between these two characters. Still don't know what they want from these two paired up in the long run. Leslie has continued to want to use Marcel to her advantage because he's a cop. But like most things on this show, it would be nice if it would actually go somewhere. One of the only interesting parts of this preview is Tyrell saying that some dude has been following him and tells Smitty and Martin and Samantha. I have no idea what that's about, but it's good to see the teens getting a new story. That Wesley character, I think that was his name, who was the one that was set up by Lynette to take the fall for the mugging. A lot of people suspected that could be Tyrell and Samantha's father, since it seemed like he and June had a thing going. Now, would he be so stupid to come back so soon after Joey gave him money to go away? Maybe. But I have no idea who else would be following Tyrell. And then in the preview, we have Samantha going at June, telling June to stop thinking about herself and be there for her kids. It's interesting that it's coming from Samantha because she's been the one pushing for a relationship with June, unlike Tyrell. So to see that it's Samantha upset with June, I am wondering what June is going to do to piss Samantha off so much. But the people in the comments that want to see more June, it looks like June's going to have a bit of a storyline over this next week of episodes. I am not exactly thrilled with this preview. Some of the spoilers I read makes me think that Monday is probably going to be the hardest episode of the bunch because it seems very Impaler story heavy, and that storyline is really going nowhere interesting and really just falling flat. But there does seem to be some good things later in the week. Deanna will be back later in the week, so that alone could maybe give us some high drama because she's pretty intense, and it seems as though the relationship between Vanessa and Nicole, the friendship, is not going to be as worked out. Like, I don't think they're going to put a band-aid on that friendship yet, and they shouldn't. Nicole should be very upset with Vanessa because she was very much a trash friend on that double date when Vanessa is the one that put it together in the first place. Let's get to some of y'all's comments while I got the time. Like I said, I'm recording this on Friday, so if you commented on the Friday episode, I won't get to respond to those today. Ali Bordeaux 2027 said, the look Kat gave after she told Tomas she's going to let it go with the Hayley and Lynette thing shows she's not going to let it go. Bill was overreacting today with Tomas. Damn, Hayley is so manipulative. Yeah, you were right. Kat was not going to let the Hayley and Lynette thing go because Kat does not let things go. Did Bill overreact with Tomas? I don't know if I agree with that. I think with the whole sexual harassment thing happening last year to the firm, I can see why Bill was so upset to hear that Tomas may have actually sexually harassed Lynette, even though it was Hayley being manipulative. Laura Hudnell said, I can't believe Bill doesn't realize that he hasn't been sick since he hasn't had any of Hayley's tea. Great assessment. I don't know if that just means they dropped the storyline or if that is Bill being written as so dumb where Hayley is concerned on this show. It is probably both, perhaps, or maybe the latter. It does seem like Hayley still wants to kill Bill, but she hasn't gone back to the whole poisoning thing at all. And there's been no follow-up with the hospital part of Bill's blood that I can recall. Fatima Taylor says, this blood plasma storyline is so dumb and boring. I hope the payoff makes up for how dumb and ridiculous this is. I wouldn't expect the payoff to really be a big payoff at all. I was thinking today, though, I had this idea, and I don't even know if it's a good idea, but what if Vanessa ends up being the impaler? What if she's just been trying to get closer to Joey because she actually wants to one-up Joey? What if she's actually been like this gangster woman for so long herself? I mean, it would honestly, in my opinion, be better for the Vanessa character than her just being so pathetic with Joey all the time over these past several months since Doug died. I don't see them going there. And like I said, I don't even know if that's a good idea, but it would be quite a twist and maybe actually make the Vanessa and Joey storyline make a little more sense than it makes these days. Barbara Gregg said, oh, Jan, Bill is such an empty-headed person. Tomas has no acting ability, for sure. Kat has more investigative intuition than Jacob, for sure. And Lynette has more salsa in her game, also, for sure. I mean, I agree with all of those points, Barbara Gregg. Wanda Dixon said, I don't like the way the writers just drop a storyline and leave everyone wondering what happened. First, it was the deadly tea, and now it's overcharging on the credit card. Writers need to find a storyline and take it to the end. It's hard to watch because everyone's story is always cut short. I'm really trying to enjoy Beyond the Gates, but it's really getting hard to follow daily. They do struggle when it gets to a certain point in a storyline how to like pivot, while like they don't have to necessarily completely pivot away from the storyline, but that's what they tend to do sometimes. So I agree with that assessment. Curly K said, I wish Chelsea would hang back a little and listen when she sees Hayley talking to herself or to someone else. She always just barely misses hearing helpful information. I also hate that Chelsea is showing Hayley so much compassion. She's going to feel really stupid when the truth comes out. Yeah, that's pretty typical soap opera, that a character doesn't wait and listen more when someone looks like they're being suspicious. Chelsea really could have done that weeks ago when she saw Randy and Hayley together. Carmen said, Bill only made Tomas a partner after Tomas saw Bill and Danny kissing in the office. Maybe he forgot Tomas has something on him. I believe they are showing Danny so happy now in her marriage to bring it to a slow halt when Bill finds out about Hayley. He can go crying to Danny about her being right about Hayley. And of course, it will bring a ruffle in her marriage. I think that's a great point, Carmen. I do think that is why we are seeing all these happy moments for Danny and Andre. Because when shit finally does hit the fan with Bill and Hayley, you just know Danny's going to be right there. And it ain't going to be so great for Andre. Ed the Bank said, I completely agree with you about the men on this show and how they are written. Yeah, they have from jump not written men well. I do think Michelle Valjean hates men. If that's, I think that's pretty clear to me. Pamey agrees as well and said, the men being stupid, weak, or villain is so true. Even Joey is losing his edge. Elon and Marcel don't get enough airtime to be weak or stupid, so there's still hope left for them. Even Smitty turned to mush after he let Martin back home. I agree on all accounts. There is potential with Elon, for sure, to not be stupid or weak. He does kind of still lean villain, though. Same for Marcel. Linda Thornton said, it's about time Bill is realizing Hayley has been playing him, and he asks for Joey to help him investigate Lynette. Tomas called Hayley out and wanted Bill to fire him. There are still too many plots that need to be closed. It's a struggle to watch at times, but I'm hanging in there waiting for some real good action that makes me talk to my TV. Like I told Linda in the comments, I still do talk to my TV when I see the characters Vanessa or Tomas are in an episode. I'm like, oh, fuck. Gotta watch them today. So they do make me talk to my TV, but maybe not for the best reasons. Terry Classic, if I'm saying that right, is saying, or Clackick, Terry Clackick we're going to go with, said, who is the actress who plays Vanessa's daughter, Deanna? I hope they keep her around. She is a great little actress and the only one who can go toe-to-toe with her mother. She stated she wanted to be truthful, but left out the part that she was sleeping around while she was still married. She had no problem, though, disparaging their father by bringing up his gambling problem. I think Deanna sees right through her. Maybe I'm overthinking this or just too sensitive, but Chelsea was wrong to bring up Tomas sleeping with Eva. Yes, it was wrong, but there's a big difference between consensual sex and sexual harassment. Two different things here. Deanna's great. I do love how she drags her mother. I do think she sees through her mother, and somebody needs to, because Vanessa clearly is hot garbage. But as for Chelsea bringing up that Tomas slept with Eva to Kat again, I don't think people bring that up enough to Kat, because Kat is in this not so great relationship with Tomas where she continues to have to pretend that it's so good, and it ain't. Devin said, that's where they are now, unfortunately. This is in response to when I said Andre and Danny have become kind of boring because they're kind of becoming the soap opera trope when they're too happy too fast. A couple can become boring. But Devin said, these two went from my favorite two characters to boring. Yes, they're both sexy, but it's not enough to make them entertaining. Either show us more of Andre's history or make him a player. Yeah, they either need to bring up Andre's history, something from Andre's past needs to come up, or just give Andre a story of his own that doesn't involve Danny or Ashley. That would be nice. Marty B said, if Joey investigates Lynette, I don't think he'll tell Bill anything about Hayley or Randy, so Bill will just be thinking that Lynette is the problem and trying to keep her away from Hayley. So we're a long way away from Bill's last two brain cells putting together that Hayley has been conning him. I think this story is going to drag out a bit longer, unfortunately, before we'll see Hayley, Lynette, and Randy get what they deserve. I mean, the only thing Lynette deserves is more storylines. But I do think you're probably right. They're going to keep stretching it out. Bill might just suspect Lynette is the problem for a long while. And it doesn't seem like Joey's going to throw Randy or Hayley under the bus. He's just going to let it slowly happen. Phoenix Rising said, I fast forward through the trash/Joey scenes. I did watch the trash/Deanna scene. Lucky to not have to watch it live. Although, like I said the other day, I might start fast forwarding. I might start flipping the channel when those scenes are on. Oh, there's more comments I want to get through, but there's so little time, so I'm going to go through these quick. Harriet Smallwood said, Deanna going off on Vanessa was the best part of today's show. That was great. Pam Allen said, you are right. Naomi brought up Hayley's fake sonogram. It made no sense for Naomi to have withheld that information from Bill. Yeah, that makes no sense to me why Naomi is keeping that secret. But maybe she just likes to keep secrets, like I said the other day, because she keeps her Jean secret. CCO said, Trash lied and lied ferociously. That was pearl clutching when she said she had not been with Joey before Doug died and said, I stand on that. She sure was with Joey before Doug's death and any other man she could get with, and Deanna knows she is lying. I can see Donnell, though, not wanting to believe the worst about his mom, and he's trying to be a peacemaker. I'm trying to see Donnell's point of view, but my hatred for the putrid trash makes it hard for me to see Donnell's point of view. So I'm just really rooting for Deanna to ream her mother, because Vanessa doesn't give a shit about them kids. Vanessa doesn't give a shit about anyone, not her friends, not Doug, not her children, just her little Joey. Hemi said, I guess it was Naomi's turn to tell us to leave Tomas alone. Oh yeah, Hemi had this theory over the past week that the show was trying to tell us through the characters that we're stuck with Tomas. When Bill said he didn't want to fire Tomas, Tomas isn't going anywhere. And then this is what Hemi brought up here, saying, I guess it was Naomi's turn to tell us to leave Tomas alone. Tell Hayley. Alex, Tomas is a grown-ass man. If he can't handle the smoke he's receiving about his bad acting, smoke from Hayley, then maybe he should take some acting lessons. Find another job with a different law firm. Hemi might be onto something there. Maybe that was the show trying to tell us to be nicer to Tomas, or that Tomas isn't going anywhere. I can see that being true, but it's petty. And when writers start getting petty, it actually just shows that they're really terrible at coming up with good storylines. Pro wrestling used to do that all the time. Just be petty instead of actually giving us something good to watch. Lydia Duncan says, Trash should listen to her daughter. She's asking all the right questions and doesn't understand how Vanessa isn't suspicious of Joey's motives. Makes sense to me. That double date went to hell today. I think Joey was being a hypocrite, hoping that Trash would never insist on setting up another double date with anyone again. I agree. I do think that is possibly what Joey was actually doing. Rodney Herring said, I think Deanna did a great job. They need more of Deanna. I thought Joey was doing too much. He was definitely triggered, and this may sound weird. I enjoyed Hayley's scenes today, even though she's diabolical. I didn't like her in the beginning. Yeah, in the beginning, Hayley was a character that didn't have a lot of development. She was kind of right there with the Ashleys and the Tomases not getting a lot of development. But ever since they've given her a backstory, giving her all this scamming, she's become one of the more entertaining parts of the show, in my opinion. Doc Backhand said, Grandpa Gangster Heavy episode today. Sorry he gave Hayley notice he is onto her. Trash's very bad day had Deanna taking no prisoners and ending with the double date from hell. I think Vanessa's days could get worse, and I hope that they do get worse. Jasmine Williams said, I'm sick of a nasty trying to shove Joey down everyone's throat. I mean, me and you both. I'm just, you could have ended at I'm sick of Vanasty because I am sick of Vanessa too. DGF said, I still can't get over that Randy risked his life to get out of the game for $10,000. Yeah, this is why I said the other day, I hate the way that they consistently write Randy like a fool when he could have just been just as like cunning as Joey. Like Randy should have always been an up and comer to be like Joey's actual real secondhand man. And even though he is Joey's secondhand man, we only always see him doing stupid shit. Pam Allen said a coworker said she believes Hayley is going to end up killing Lynette. I hope not because one, I like Lynette, and two, because the murder will never get solved, just like the murder of Doug and the attempted murder of Laura. Some of you have been saying this in the comments that maybe they're going to try and kill Lynette. Hayley and Randy should try and kill Lynette. I mean, I hope not for my sake. Wade David said maybe Hayley and Randy will try to off Lynette. Listen, if they off Lynette before the likes of Tomas, before the likes of Ashley, we're still stuck with Leslie being a cartoon gnat. If they get rid of a great new character like Lynette way too soon, if you think I'm harsh on this show now, I will watch this show out of spite just to point out every little bad decision Michelle Valjean makes as a head writer, if that were to happen. NY Claw Lady said, I did not have a problem with Joey or Carlton calling out Nicole. At times she is exhausting with her above everyone else demeanor. Fair. New York Claw Lady also agreed, saying, I have a bad feeling concerning the Hayley, Lynette, and Randy storyline. I feel like one of them is going to come up short, and not in a good way. Lynette is too greedy and won't move on, and is envious of Hayley's setup. We'll see if they off someone in the Lynette, Hayley, Randy storyline. I don't feel like they should. Because they've been carrying the entertainment of this show for months now, while every other story has been a struggle. Village Girl brought up an interesting point, saying, my issue is with the optics of Grandpa Gangster being the great white savant and savior. In fact, all of the villains and problematic characters and second-class citizens are darker skinned. I brought this up when the show first started, even though it's not my place to talk about, so I'm not going to get too deep into this. But when they first started casting the show, there was an obvious thing that they were casting a lot of light-skinned actresses, which for what's supposed to be the first black soap opera seemed odd. And I do agree that the villains that aren't Joey do tend to be darker-skinned characters. It makes you go, and I don't know if that's a CBS issue, or if that's a head writer issue, or if that's a casting issue, but I understand Village Girl's issue with that. A couple more. Alicia said, you must have been over the moon today. The dumpster was on fire with Grandpa Gangster, self-righteous on all display, and you got to see Lynette in her white pants sucking on an olive. Listen, Lynette is a highlight every time she is on. I'm not going to shut up about it. Even there's some people in the comments that want me to, but at least something is working on this show for me personally that I don't have to complain about. Last one, Sandra Kidd said, so tired of Joey and Vanessa, also tired of Tomas and Kat. Writing needs to improve. I said that in that episode, I believe that was Thursday's episode. If there's an episode where Trash and Joey and Tomas and Kat are the two couples on taking up a lot of time, there's no way it's going to be a good episode, because the Joey and Trash scenes are always like repeats of things they always say, and then you got to watch Kat try and get emotions out of Tomas that never come. It gets tiring. All right, that's all I got today. Happy Easter to all out there. We'll see what this next week brings for Beyond the Gates.